Hi, everybody. Welcome to stream. With three of us here, and there is an echo and duplicated audio. Okay, we'll get that sorted out.
But it's me.
Okay. Well, we're gonna remove you from screen, Andrew. We didn't plan on having you. So, Andrew, get yourself set up. There is an echo. Chef Brent isn't here, which is why we just had that hard start. Don't know what button I pushed or who pushed a button, but here we are. We were just about ready to go, so we're ready to go. Welcome, Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back to another year of A/B testing stream. Cool. So it was Andrew. We'll get him back on stage in a few moments, but
that was I will say stay ready, because Alex, you're like, are you ready to go? And I was like, yeah. That was my and then
I didn't hit the button. Maybe Andrew did, or maybe you did, or maybe it just happened automatically, or Chef Brent somehow jumped into the producer booth, even though he's not.
Supposed to be out of office.
Rashab, thanks for my mic and headphones. It's new stuff for all this stuff. Yeah, Chef Brent's not in here at all. He's on stream. He might even be on his phone. I think he's like driving somewhere today, maybe. I don't know. But this is a Chef Brentless stream. He's here to watch as a person that likes to watch Twitch. Oh, amazing. So
he's here as a regular person. So okay, so we said hello, chat. We were a little
sorry,
wonky.
That was a little chaotic, that start, but
just a smidge. But anyways, welcome to the A/B testing stream. We are super excited to have y'all. If you are watching this in the future, hello. That was very anticlimactic. I was like, what? I don't know. Just hello.
Yeah, you don't know where you're going.
Share with your friends. As you know, you may have met Alex. If you haven't, hi Alex. And Bianca.
Hi Bianca. You might have met Bianca.
Yes, hello. It is me, Bianca. But we're super excited to have you here. A/B testing stream is we're about to hit a year old with the stream, but join us for our adventures in Twilio Devs land of just building, creating, exploring, so
yeah. And what are we doing today? Like our kind of theme for January is starting today.
Yes. Okay. We are super excited. So we don't want you to just look at our lovely faces. I know it's great, but we want you to get acquainted with the awesome and amazing, talented colleagues we have on our team that might be producing other streams. So in the month of January, we'll be we'll be piloting out some new shows that you can come to expect. They won't be on Tuesday at 2 p.m., but they might be sprinkled out throughout the week. But we want you to just kind of get acquainted to some of our other streams that we have coming on. Alex, anything to add on our pilot?
Yeah, it's kind of pilot season. I feel like they do that in TVs. I don't really know how that scheduling works, but that's how we're looking at January here. Trying to, we've had some really cool feedback when we've gotten people on stream, which is like, it seems really intimidating, but it's not. And like, we are super lucky that we have our amazing producer, Chef Brent, who just helps make it all easy, but you kind of just got to show up and do it. And so we're just trying to help hold the hands of some of our good friends to get there. So I think without further ado, let's bring Andrew back up onto the stage. Andrew, I think you're ready. How you doing? Oh, he's fidgeting with audio for a second.
We got it. We're good.
Oh, you got it. Good. You sound great.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I feel like this is what we needed today.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. Welcome, Andrew. It sounds like your voice has changed since we last saw you on stream, but we are very excited to have you. Andrew will be piloting out his new show today. And I'm going to try. Alex used to have stream tears. Now it's stream laughs. Can I make this through without laughing at their vocal changes? But yes, Andrew will be kind of introducing his show. So just to kind of give y'all a sense of what to expect today, we're going to just do a quick little catch up. As always, we need to make sure #not-sponsored segment where we introduce you to our latest and greatest items. And then we have just kind of some things. We have some questions for Andrew, and then Andrew will just be piloting out his show. So lots to get to.
And you're gonna love it.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I want to go to chat first, which is Rashab said new show exclamation. I'm gonna gonna put you on the spot, Rashab. Come on in the next couple weeks with your new show? I've heard some ideas from you. Rashab's another one of our Twilio coworkers, and he does some great work on video, and I know he does some stuff on stream. So, Rashab, what you got? What you got for us? We want to see your new show. So I'm calling out Rashab in public so that maybe he he doesn't have a choice now but to pick one and come on.
This is gonna be like a wrestling show. It's just gonna be like, I call you out.
Yeah, exactly. In that voice.
Just like that. Just like that.
Okay.
Might be more like this. Let's go, Rashab. Welcome to A/B testing. Come on and do your stream.
I do like that as a good potential intro. That
There you go.
I feel like the face stills from today's session will be fantastic. But okay, I know we put Rashab on the spot, and I might be going on a tangent here. So I gave y'all an agenda, all to not follow it. But
no,
roll
we're
with
gonna
it.
get back to it. I just wanted to put Rashab on the spot before we jump in.
Roll with it. I was basically saying, chat, like, what are things that y'all are excited about building, but also what's holding you back from it? Because I feel like sometimes we can kind of have these ideas in our head, but we kind of stop ourselves. So chat, just kind of curious, like, what projects are you excited to put out, but also what sometimes do you feel like stops you from kind of just the doing it part? So let us know in chat. I didn't want to get this deep very early, but we are here. This is not for you to air out your emotional stuff, but just a space for us to think about, like, how in community can we kind of help build out whatever y'all might want to bring to life. So that is a question I have for y'all in chat. Reflect on it, write on it. Great.
That actually is a great segue for me into our not sponsored segment, right? And reason being, for I don't know how, probably 2 years. Actually, I thought I was going to do this project when I was on leave with when my daughter was born. She just turned 2, and so like that's how long this has been on my radar. When Twilio closed their offices in that was, I think, 2+ years now in Denver. You could go, they like had a bunch of extra equipment and they let people take a few things. And I took 2 of these guys. These are like little Asus Chromebooks. And over break, I had to flash the BIOS. You have to like totally erase the whole thing. I got this one set up with Ubuntu so I can do some robot stuff on it if I want to. And my other one, I put on something called Home Assistant. I don't know if anybody in chat has played with that yet. But there we go. It's basically a self-hosted home server. So I have this now just sitting downstairs in my house. It was a little bit of a pain to install. They have some other specific things. Frackberg uses it to run his house. Sweet. And so what's cool is like, you can see this is hosted locally, but this is my house right now. So like,
wow.
I can go ahead and like, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it because of the lighting, but like I can turn on the lights in my room from here. So the next phase will be doing some more stuff so I can like play with this, like get my Stream Deck to be able to control my lights and do some other stuff. But this is one of those things that for 2 years has been on my to-do list to get this Home Assistant.io put in and built. And I finally did it, and it was super easy. There's an app on my phone for it too. And it's not like all these things that I'm controlling had apps already. Like I'm not starting something from scratch, but it's just all in one place, and it's just super easy and super cool. And now I can write, now I can do more stuff that's like a little more coding with it because there's all these developer resources. So that was my like sponsored, not sponsored little bit that I finally did. And you just made me think of it because you're like, what projects have you been putting off? And that's a project I've been putting off that I finally did. And it took a few hours, but not that much. It was pretty good.
Okay. No, that's pretty good. I did not focus on controlling my home. I focused on staying on today's edition of Not Sponsored. It is cold season outside. It is flu season. It is all the seasons. So I have been leaning into my vitamins. Right here we have some organic elderberry whole food gummies. They taste horrible, but
They taste bad.
But they're gluten-free. They have this like organic fruit blend, and they have some elderberry, a little bit of elderberry extract. Very important. Not sponsored by, I have my little Dollar Tree beer mug here. Dollar Tree, fun fact, Dollar Tree has the best beer mugs, and they make amazing water jugs. Stay hydrated. And earlier today, clearly hydration central. Earlier today I had a little ginger, turmeric, carrot elixir. Added a little honey in there, but that is what we are working with today.
Nice.
On my not sponsored.
We had some fun things in chat before we jump over to
Ooh,
Andrew,
yeah.
some projects. Chef Brent's been working on something that's part fun and one part work related. So he's been working on the fun part over break. And then we've got, what do we got? Oh, Frackberg didn't have any fun projects, but he's recertifying for AWS, and Rashab is in a similar boat.
Okay.
And then what do we got? RJ Pearson had a good one. Got some conversation AI work that I'm doing, a bit of Dialogflow CX, and plan on looking into Conversation Relay to use LLMs too. If you don't know, Conversation Relay is a new product that Twilio is putting out that basically orchestrates the voice AI. It just orchestrates all the voice AI. So it's really easy. It's like 1 or 2 lines of TWIML, and you can connect a phone call to AI. We kind of help with handle the transcription and text to speech stuff, and then it plugs into your AI in the back end. It's pretty cool. I've got to see some demos and play with it a bit too. Sweet. And then what do you got going on, Andrew?
I feel so lucky to be here sharing my stuff. I'm gonna go halfway between each of you. I'm gonna do like lifestyle, sort of health, and I'm also gonna do like cool tech project, because I feel like I want to be the slash in between the A/B testing. I want to be the slash there. I also need to get away from my. There we go. Okay, there we go. Now I'm not going to hear myself. So 2 things. First thing, so this is my first job fully working from home. And so I have not been in this situation where I genuinely don't have to leave the house a lot of the time, and I'm sitting in a chair all the time. So I was like, I'm going to get in shape in 2025. It wasn't like a New Year's resolution, but I was like, I'm going to go and do something. So I've been putting off going and joining a yoga class forever. And I was like, I'm going to finally go and do a yoga class. And then I realized, oh my God, you got to buy a lot of stuff for a yoga class. So I had a yoga mat, but I needed to go and buy like yoga like clothing. And after shopping around a lot, I actually discovered that like the only place to buy, well, maybe not the only place, but like if you want to buy it in person, one of the best places to go was Lululemon. And I knew that it was like for in general, it was good, but I didn't realize that it was like a go-to place for like men's yoga gear. But I got to say, I bought a pair of shorts that are like life-changing, like absolutely life-changing.
Lulu's got some good stuff. One of my other favorite brands for that kind of stuff is Viore. It's super comfy. It's a little more, they still have the athleisure stuff. They also, I don't know, they're very similar, but they're some of my favorites.
I feel like Viore does well on the like, Viore does well on both. I feel like both lifestyle and kind of functional. It makes me think. I was like, not sponsored by Lulu, but I'm like, the amount of times that people are like, well, I didn't know Lululemon could do this or that. And I was like, man, y'all are missing out.
Viore and Lululemon have my 2 favorite pants as well. And they're like, they look like slacks, but they are as comfortable as yoga pants. And so that's basically all I wear anymore.
So this is it. So I went in there and I was standing there looking like a lost puppy. Like I'm sure so many like people that are in solo buying stuff in these stores that are men are. And I kind of like waited for about 10 minutes and I motioned over to somebody. I was like, please come and help me. And I was like, listen, I'm going to like I've done yoga before, but not like in a class. I was like, I'm going to my first in-person yoga class. and I really don't know what to wear. And they got so excited. They were like, let me show you things. And so they show me the shorts and the shirts and all the rest of stuff. And they bring me over to the track pants, like the joggers. And I was like, I'm not a joggers guy. I see people in joggers and I'm like, where's your life gone that you're wearing joggers like all the time? And then I tried them on and I gotta say,
there's
You
a reason.
understood. You
there's
understood.
like, I'm like, it's dangerous. It was a dangerous. I did not plan on buying joggers, but I may now be this person. I know.
I own a pair of Viore joggers. I feel you. I don't wear them out of the house very often because that's not the vibe, but they're great just to wear around.
That's a vision. Frackberg seems to not be in alignment.
He feels like, have we gone to the dark side, Frackberg? Is it too much for you?
Frackberg is not in alignment with the clothing choices, but
Speaking of
hopefully
clothing
you
choices, RJ Pearson says congrats on your
Yes!
track jacket.
Thank you.
Woo!
Well, I appreciate that. That makes me super happy.
Yes.
Yeah, it was great. It arrived, and I feel like I am fully in my Twilio era now. Also, I love that I'm like just not sponsored. I'm wearing my Battlesnake shirt underneath my Twilio, so it's like full circle. For anybody that doesn't know, during my interview process for this job, I did a Battlesnake demo, and it's a company that I used to work for. Go check it out. Not sponsored. Yeah, by the way, dark side, I got to take advantage of these things.
You've gone to the dark side by wearing the joggers. The dark side of the Force.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you do this. I in theory have those too, but I'm happy that you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah. So, and the other thing that I just want to shout out, because I want to do a tech thing too, really quickly. Because as you all know, if you haven't learned so far, and you'll learn today, I'm a big PHP fan. And it's on the Roadcaster, Rashad. It's just like a default button on the Roadcaster. I am a huge Laravel ecosystem PHP fan, and there's a new, if you haven't heard of it, because Alex was showing like a self-hosted home automation thing, there is a cool self-hosted Vercel alternative that's out there that's built in Laravel. It's called Coolify, so if you want to pull it up, it's coolify.io. And it is fantastic. Like, you can use a cloud-hosted version that they have, or you can like self-host it yourself, but it's literally like a PHP version of Vercel. And from everything that I've heard and read, it's pretty amazing.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That in case you couldn't figure that out because of the voice, that is codified.
The voice is
Coolify.
Going, sorry, I didn't realize the voice was still on. I got
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, Rashad loves Coolify. Good to hear that we got some people using it. So what do you mean? So like Vercel, if I'm not mistaken, is like it is like pre-built websites and like templates essentially for websites and lets you like spin something up really fast, right?
Yeah, so my voice is back to normal now, right?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, good. Sorry. I put it on like one channel only listen mode, and I lost track of the fact that I still had Monster going. Yes, so it's sort of like if you ever used Heroku back in the day, sort of you build something on GitHub and you want to deploy a project that like to a single space. It's that. It's like Netlify, Vercel. It's like you have some code you want to deploy out to the world. This is where you deploy your projects. And so what's great here is like you're basically deploying a tool to deploy your code. So like maybe you are on, like you have a Vercel account and you're basically like have your Vercel account and then you might have other services that are attached to it. Basically you could just like get an AWS instance like and just have this hosted and then host all of your instances through there.
Got it.
Yeah.
So it would kind of like, okay, that makes sense. So it's self-hosted, but most people are still using it like as web hosted because you're still hosting it through AWS, but you're managing all of it.
Yeah, I mean, you can host it on like a Raspberry Pi, like you could host it on anything. Yeah, so that's a great thing because it's built. I will say this is the thing about PHP and the Laravel stack is like it's built to deploy anywhere. So basically, as long as you can deploy, you can deploy PHP somewhere, then you can get it out into the world.
Sweet.
Yeah,
cool to know. This is actually, again, great transition because I wanted to know, like, so you use PHP, like what was your, Andrew, what was your like coding language journey? Like where'd you start? Like, I know PHP is kind of like the one that you use the most now, but like, how did that come to be? And what do you code in these days?
Yeah, so I started coding in I did coding in high school and hated it. It was like Visual
Java
Basic.
or
No,
Visual
Visual
Basic?
Basic.
The only reason
And
I knew Visual Basic is because that's what you programmed on your TI-80 whatever calculator was Visual Basic.
yeah, and I really didn't like it. I had a professor who was like a gym teacher, or a teacher who was a gym teacher who also happened to teach the coding class, and like did not really enjoy it and followed like a step-by-step instruction, and so kind of fell out of love with it. And then I have always looked this way. I have a very nerdy vibe about me, and so my first job when I graduated from university was working. I got hired to work at a youth center, and they were like, "Hey, you seem like the kind of person that could build us a website." And I was like, A, what's up? But B, all right, sure, let's do it. And so I actually ended up finding, I had no idea how to program. So I was like, what can I build in? And I ended up finding this tool called Zara Web Designer, which was like by the team that did Corel, I think. Like they spun this off as a separate tool, and it was a WYSIWYG, and the code that it output was like hot garbage, like XML, like didn't make any sense for if you like went and looked at the website, and you had to use their software to like even deploy it. And so kind of started there, and then
Still exists.
Yeah, still exists, and I think they've probably improved it since it started. And it was awesome though. Like I built a website and it was fantastic. And then I kind of like went, okay, what's one step sort of beyond WYSIWYG? And I ended up in the WordPress ecosystem and started playing around in WordPress. And then I kind of got frustrated because you want to do cool things in WordPress, you got to learn PHP. And I tried and I failed so much. Like starting in PHP and WordPress was impossible because WordPress is like really opinionated in the way that it works.
Yeah, my big problem, because I actually literally over the weekend helped like my aunt like fix her website in WordPress. And my big frustration was you can't really, unless you really want to go deep, you can't like edit the code. So I feel like there's like this big leap between like, hey, I'm like using WordPress.com hosting to like then actually go and like dive into it. And so I just like found the boxes to check to fix it. But it was like, it's kind of I don't know. It's kind of a weird one.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you eventually did learn PHP though to get through that.
Yeah. So this is like a story. And again, so I'm going to say, you got to be careful when you say, Andrew, tell me a story, because there's like the short version that gets directly there. And then there's the long version that stops at like the world's like largest goose and like the world's largest hockey stick. And I'll always go on the side road journey.
Wait, does your coding journey involve the world's largest hockey stick? That sounds very Canadian.
I wish it did. It is actually it's on Vancouver Island in Nanaimo. The same place that Nanaimo bars are from actually is the world's largest hockey stick. But yeah, anyways, so basically in university, so I went back to school to do my master's, and I took 6 years to do it because in the middle of it, I went and did a teaching degree. So I like started my master's, did some research, and then I was like, oh, I guess I really want to be a teacher. So I like paused my master's, let my research sit for like 2.5 years, and then came back to it. And I was like, oh my God, I've got a year to finish this. I need to build something that's going to make this look like I didn't completely just like mess up on this project. And so I basically took the research, which was focused on like building an assessment tool for like an inquiry-based high school, and basically built out this like Google Sheets app that like was a bunch of macros in there. And then I presented it to the school as part of the master's sort of like final step. And a bunch of the teachers there were like, hey, we love this, but can you have user accounts? And like, can you have like this information saved in a different format? And can you like export this? And I was like, nope, you definitely can't do any of those things. But I was like, but I could probably figure it out. And so I was like, what would this look like to do? And I ended up, because I'd been in the PHP ecosystem before, I was like, what is PHP? Like, what are the things? And I ended up coming across the Laravel ecosystem. And what's really cool about Laravel in terms of a framework is it's batteries included. So whereas like WordPress is like raw PHP that's very opinionated. Laravel is like batteries included, a lot of helper functions, and there's a huge community around it, and everybody that is out there is just like super, super, super helpful. I had some bad Stack Overflow moments, but like as a general rule, you're always going to have bad Stack Overflow moments. But like I ended up finding this step-by-step tutorial on YouTube that was a person building out a fully functional like blog with comment system and all the rest of this stuff. And he started from scratch and he worked through the whole process. And I basically was like, okay, I can imagine my like LMS that I've built as like a blog, and I can kind of like mix and match this. And so I watched that YouTube video and I got into the community and fell in love. I just fell in love with Laravel and like the things that it does. And the crazy thing is like, I actually think that Laravel is not necessarily the best framework. Even PHP isn't the best for all situations, but because I was able to learn this and build confidence, I now have programmed in like, I think 15 or 20 different languages. And like, this was the gateway that like allowed for me to go and do that. But yeah, I would say this was super, super powerful in terms of let you get from zero to something deployed really quickly. But then there's a danger to that too, right? Because you're like not doing all of the things behind the scenes, that there's a magic that's there. And if you don't know why the magic is happening, then things can go awry. So yeah, that's my like PHP like coding story.
Nice. I love it. And I love how you kind of mentioned even the learning journey in there. So kind of the ability to like, you do want to see the magic. You want to see like, okay, I tried to build this, it worked. And even how that just kind of super, just jump started you into other kind of languages. So I do love that process of like, even as we started, we're like, just get to it, right? Like that's the energy that we're pulling in for the year. So, okay. So within your,
I was gonna say my journey was like shockingly similar to that. Or like,
sorry, you're basically Andrew. You're just,
Andrew's me. I was here first.
Okay.
Were you though? I mean, that's the real question. Were you really?
So yeah, but mine was almost the exact same thing where like I did Java in high school and then didn't code in college, and then was working on someone at some point tried to get me to use Cold Fusion, which was like a whole different thing. Glad I didn't go down that track because that's wouldn't be useful. But then when I was actually like building stuff out, it was Ruby on Rails because they have all these gems and you can really quickly put stuff up. And it was the exact same thing you mentioned, which is like stuff was magic and I didn't know why it was working, but it was working. And like but you're right. It just builds enough confidence to be like, I can build that, even though you don't totally know what you do. But then years later, when I went to grad school and started doing C++, different vibe, very different vibe to like, it's like the opposite of magic. Like you have to like know where your memory is stored. So that was a whole nother beast.
Yeah. I feel like there's this thing. I was writing my like intro blog post and I was like, I once asked a boss, like an employer, I was like, why do you hire me? Like, why do you actually like working with me? Like, what am I good at? And he's like, you know what? I'm not really sure the answer to that question, but like, you're fearless. Like you are like not afraid to go and try anything in the world of tech. Like I've never given you a problem where you're like, no, I can't do that. And I would say like that first coding experience that gets you from like zero to like something that does what you want it to do is like the thing that gives you the fearless, like it gives you fearless. I'm not fearless.
But I think, okay, but I do think a lot of people think like, oh, you're just the person that's like, you're just that fearless person. Like I've heard people use it like, oh, that person's so courageous. And I'm like, it's cultivated, right? Like you can't, you don't just wake up and you're like, okay, I'm going to tackle these things. But I do think sometimes life brings you to a problem and you're like, am I going to do it or am I not? Right. Like, and I do like this idea of just like, even, what is it? Just like cultivating our courage. Is that the next name of it?
That's a good way to
fail
say it.
Forward, right? Like, like nothing worth doing is easy, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I even heard a few things of what you mentioned, which is like community was important, getting clarity from point A to point B. I do like that reminder. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we've got Chef Brent said there used to be a Cold Fusion Twilio library. That's what you get when you've been at Twilio for over a decade. we have some interesting journeys, but it seems like everyone started with like a lower level language, right? Like RJ Pearson, Java to Node and TypeScript, then to Go, then Python, then back to Node TypeScript. And then, Chef Brent started in C++, went to Java, C#, Visual Basic, Ruby, Object-C. Now I've seen him use Python and JavaScript. So, I feel like there's definitely journeys there. What languages have you coded in, Bianca? I know you haven't done a ton, but you've done some.
I've been like, the thing about it is I go in and out. Definitely some of the, web-based stuff. So like your HTML, your C, all the things there. Definitely a little bit of SQL. I used to be a data palooza person. So SQL used to be, me and SQL used to be like this, which is why I'm just like, I want to get like kind of back into my data world. So a little bit of Python, JavaScript it never hurts to have a little JavaScript in the mix. But yeah, so I think for me, definitely like data has been a theme of just like some of the languages.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nice. I actually have another question I'll ask Andrew really quick and maybe chat as well. I have a lot of people who, not a ton, but like sometimes I have people be like, what language should I learn? And it definitely depends, but I usually say Python.
So I'll say something totally different. And I did a podcast recording yesterday where I said this. I would say that learning a programming language is like finding your favorite food. Like some people will say like pizza is my favorite food, salads are my favorite like whatever cuisine or whatever you'll find it. Like there, I love that I named like the things that only I just like named like the worst cuisines. There are other cuisines aside from what I just said.
No, just pizza and salad.
Pizza and salad, that's it. But I will say like you should not do go and explore different languages because eventually you'll find one that speaks to you. Like it's a weird thing to say, but like I had played around in like Visual Basic and C# and C++, and then I found PHP, and it just like the thing that I love about PHP is that you can do anything and it'll always work. So like you can have really bad code that will function and then it will break and you've got to deal with the things that break. Whereas more statically typed languages like TypeScript will just like throw an error and won't work. And I don't learn by just like having to trace down an error 16 levels. Yeah. I need to like break in production and then somebody to like email me and yell at me and be like, you broke our app. And then I need to like have that immediacy to go to fix it. Not really, but like this idea of like it works and then you've got to figure out why it's not working versus like it's not working. You got to make it work.
That makes sense.
I think people forget like you have to do it, right? Like it reminds me of even workouts. Like a lot of folks will be like, what kind of workouts? And I'm just like, the workout that you'll do. Like if you know that, like I think a lot of folks, a person like I think the thing that you do, you start to learn like what parts of this. So like I realized for me, like I love strength training, but I also love yoga and Pilates because there are a lot of good like mobility and things like that. But like there are some people, they love Zumba. I cannot stand Zumba. This is an anti-Zumba account. Sorry, Twilio devs, that probably violates brands. But sorry, Zumba people. Who knows? Are the Zumba people our customers? I don't know. But anyways, I am not a fan of Zumba. But there are some people, they love Zumba. There are some people, they love the like not aqua robotics.
No, I like that. Aqua robotics.
Yeah. So I think you really have to find like the thing that like, like the thing that you feel empowered in. And I love kind of what you mentioned, RJ Pearson, which is like what community, like what tool, like what has a good community, what has a good level of just like support. And I do think like that can kind of, Yeah,
I also think it's community for the thing you're doing. Yeah. The reason that I said Python is Python, I feel, is like the second best language for most things. Like it's the second best language for robotics. It's the second best language if you're doing like hardcore data manipulation. It's the second best language. It might even be the best language for AI stuff because, but like my whole idea there is like, it's so expansive and you can do so much with it. You're right. Like it might not end up being your favorite food, but it's going to be a food that you can kind of like always come back to. And that's kind of one of the things that I appreciate about it.
I feel like
But
your workout
I feel you.
analogy was like way better than my food analogy, by the way,
My
Bianca.
what?
I feel like that like hit so much better. It's like there's so many exercises, but like do the one that you're gonna do that you enjoy. You had it. You killed it.
It's teamwork. So we're, hold that deep in your heart, y'all, as you're, you've learned. But then I do think like as folks are pushing themselves, because this year we're not just eating our favorite foods, okay? And you talked about like being fearless. So I think as folks are like embracing new languages, so like Alex, say if you wanted to go learn PHP tomorrow, right? Like what should someone look for that other language, right? That they're like, okay, like it's not my favorite meal, but you know what I mean? Like what are your thoughts around just kind of like as someone's getting acquainted, working in other languages that maybe they're not really a fan of? Yeah, where would you start? Would you build a blog? Would you how would you kind of
Who do you want to
that?
answer this, me or Andrew?
I think we could have both.
Okay.
Make sure you answer the question, Andrew.
Yeah.
You know me. I love this.
Yeah, just I think it doesn't matter what the project is. But it's got to be something you want to do. It's that same thing with the workout. Like it doesn't matter. Like it's got to be something you want to do and it's easy to do. I mean, you can find the coolest workout class, but if you have to drive half an hour to go get there, probably not going to go, right? So like, what's the thing that you actually want to build? I have never been able to learn a coding language unless I had a project I wanted to build, and not just like use this tutorial to build Twitter in Ruby on Rails. Like I feel like you need like a reason to build and a project, which is kind of the hardest part. But I think that's kind of that's what I think. I just think you need a project. It doesn't matter what it is, but you need to have something you want to do.
Alex, I am cracking up because my new gym is 3 minutes away from me.
Yeah.
So I'm cracking up because I do think I think the more mature we get in life and stuff, you're like, I don't have to be doing this. Like I don't have to subject myself to learning. But
I have weights and a yoga mat right here. And I literally, when I work out, I turn my monitor to face the other side of my room and I do it.
That's it. Can we do, I feel like we need a stream that's just like, and genuinely, I actually want this, is like home workouts for remote workers. I would show up to that stream and do it. Like, I feel like there's something really interesting there.
I had another really bizarre idea, and then I want to hear your answer to that question about how to get started. But I had an idea that we should do it probably wouldn't work that often, but like if anyone has like stationary bikes, like I know Toe Frog has a stationary bike. I wanted to do a station where you have to code and cycle at the same time. I thought that would be really funny to like basically have like code competitions, but you have to like either stay above a certain thing or like you have to complete the code thing. And it's like you have to complete the code thing and the race at the same time. So like, what strategy are you going to use? Frackberg says he streams indoor cycling and it's horrible. I need to know what that means, Frackberg. Yeah. Do you cycle indoors? I see you got a helmet on in your picture. Are you cycling indoors and streaming it? That would be pretty funny. But anyways,
I love that.
Yes, he does that. That's amazing.
Follow Frackberg.
Please
Frackberg. Go follow and watch. I'm definitely going to do that. Seriously, it's hard. I'm realizing I've never been in this work from home thing. And it's like, I need to like every break, just be like going and doing like a couple of reps with some weights / find a gym.
So what's your answer to Bianca's question?
So Bianca said I had to give an actual answer. So what do we got here? I don't know. It's kind of the same answer as Alex gave. I've tried so many times to get into programming, and the only time that I could actually successfully do it was when I had like a problem that I needed to solve for me. Like I ended up building a link sharing site that I had personally for a portfolio that I built out as like a SaaS tool. And I was like, oh, this is cool. I'll share it with others. But like find something that actually solves a problem for you. And it's going to be what we're going to build. But this is it. Like, I mean, I think like personal sites are a really easy place to start. Like there's so many ways to do it, and that you can basically build like a personal website in so many different languages. And I will say, like, everybody's got something to share. I've said this to lots of people, content curation over content creation in 2025 and beyond. There's so much content already out there, this stream included.
As we sit there and we create more content.
But I mean, like, we also curate stuff. We share knowledge. And I feel like building tools that curate your knowledge and your experience and your personality is really powerful. So like that, I think, find something that's powerful for you. But I do think like personal websites, personal portfolios, personal like knowledge sharing tools are like a thing that you are not going to have a hard time. But choose a thing that you are passionate about, because you'll eventually run out of steam. I got 2 projects on the go right now that I've not done very much work on. And it's just like, oof, that's probably not good. A lot of bug fixes I need to do.
Yeah.
No,
I feel that.
This.
Sorry, I have to pull this up. Frackberg legitimately does indoor cycling streams. This is Frackberg's. This is a video clip from his channel. That is such a cool setup. That is amazing. And I have my Peloton here. Maybe that's my next thing. Brent, can we get me set up to do some cycling streams? Yeah.
I love this. Frackberg, this is great. I
this
is amazing.
I really do. I love the internet. The internet is just all great stuff.
There's things that you just don't know about until somebody fun comes and shows you that thing's there.
You know? No, yeah. I am loving it. So, okay, so we talked some languages. Before we kind of pass the baton to you for the pilot episode, I have a few questions for you before we kind of kick off, and you can answer them. So, can you give me a high-level intro to this show, right? Like if you met someone on the elevator, how would you introduce this new show?
Yeah, so our new show is called Build a Blog. And in Build a Blog, we are going into the Twilio blog archives and we are going to build a blog. We're going to go through the entire process from start to finish to see if it works, if there's bugs, if there's things that need to be updated or changed in it. Because sometimes you go and you work through a blog and you're building something and you run into a bug and you're like, is it just me? It's probably not just you. And I want this to be your opportunity to kind of see somebody else doing it. And also just discovering some awesome Twilio content that's out there already. So yeah, just a way to revisit some favorites.
Nice.
Okay. And my other question for you is, why are you excited about Build a Blog? Like what do you want the people to feel?
So I have done streams in the past, which are basically me going and exploring a new programming language or framework or tool live, like never exploring it before. And it's the richest experience to like watch somebody else struggle live. As like a person, I love doing it because I'm like, it would be so, it would make me feel like I wasn't alone if I was going through those struggles, and somebody willing to like be there and answer questions, I think is a really powerful tool that we have the ability to do with having this kind of channel that we have. So yeah, I think I just want to fail so you don't have to, or fail so you feel comfortable failing, and then getting up and failing again and learning and growing. So I want to be your failure Yoda.
Nice.
Wow. Okay, that is pretty exciting stuff. Okay, so
do you have a blog picked out, or do you want to?
So here's the way that I'm hoping to do this, and maybe we'll do it in the future and not today, but the idea here is I actually want this to be like a live selection process. So chat, you can go and choose like any blog that's in our blog. It has to be, so can I don't have it shared right now. Can somebody pull up the blog? Because there's like a specific kind that we need to choose here.
Yeah.
Because not all blogs make sense, but a lot of our blogs over in like the twilio.com/blogs, if you go to the developers section, and then you'll see here, if you scroll down, there's like lots of blog posts about like random topics, but then most of these are like building something. So like how to send a message, an RCS message with C# and .NET, sending emails in Python. Like basically I'm going to go through and like build these things that are focused on building something. And that's what most of the developer blog posts are. The older, the better. I feel like there's a really interesting thing in like going into the deep, dark archives of the 16-year-old Twilio and kind of seeing whether the thing from like 2019 still works. But we have a couple that we've kind of looked at that we thought would be fun. So chat, I'm going to put it out to you. So Alex and I are doing a level up in a couple weeks where we're going to be doing a level up, and you'll like this title, Level Up Twilio Built the Video Star. And if you might get that, there's like a little reference there, a little nod. So we could sort of give you a little preview of the chaos that might ensue when we're doing that, because we do have a really awesome blog that also happens to be PHP from 2020, which is super outdated, that I assume, that we could go through, or we can just let you choose. We can let you choose something. So would you rather we build the one that we've kind of like looked at but have not touched, or do you have one that you'd like to see, chat? So give us your thoughts.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm not doing this solo. I mean, I will do this solo down the road, but we're going to do this as a group. I want y'all to stay on, and we're going to have this together. And I also like would invite anybody that's watching this stream. Like, I love bringing in people that are like not Twillians, and or are part of the Twilio ecosystem but are not here on the stream. Like, this does not have to just be talking head Andrew building something. Like, if you want to come on and like, pair program something with us, we're gonna build a blog.
Yeah. I will say because I've done that with some old posts. The ones that were actually the worst, and not the worst, but like the most out of date, were anything with AI, because like you go back 6 months and whatchamacallit, what was the big Python framework everyone was using for a long time?
Wagtail?
No.
What?
Wagtail?
No, the AI
Django?
one. No, why am I spacing?
There was one thing we did that didn't work too well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I think it was like
we've done a ton of stuff with it. It's LangChain.
LangChain.
So, like
I
LangChain,
see.
like
it was
like
the L.
6 months ago
It was
was
the L.
outdated. And so like it wasn't that old of a blog post, but I just like automatically couldn't. Yep, you got it, RJ Pearson. It was LangChain. So like LangChain just didn't work 6 months later.
Yeah. I will also say, because I feel like this should be called out, this is not, by the way, my concept of this blog. I've just had a fun name that I came up with for it. This is actually like a Chef Brent concept we discussed. And I think another member of the DevNet team, Nikki Rubin, had like conceptualized this previously. So like, I think that this idea has been out there for a really long time.
I mean, we even did a segment of this on our show. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it just kind of speaks to the fact that like we all want to kind of go and see, like, do I still got it? Right? Yeah. Does this still work? Like, I think about clearly I'm with the analogies today, but I think you go back into your closet, you're like, does this still look good? Does this fit well? Like, and I think when you're kind of doing kind of clean up and clean out, just even seeing like, how would you change it? So we've definitely done some of these in the past where we're also like, well, how would we update this? Or even seeing old blog posts that, you've written and you're like, oh, this, like, does this even make sense? But yeah, I think it just kind of speaks to the fact that like, we like to go back, we like to build things. So yeah, no, this is pretty exciting stuff.
We like to build things, but there's also something where it's like, I'd rather not have to start from zero. I mean, it's the same thing you talked about, Andrew, which is like, you can start from somebody. If you can have somebody help you get 80% of the way there, it's just going to be so much easier than trying to start from scratch.
Totally. And by the way, this is not the only, I'm pitching lots of stuff. When Sweeps Week comes, I'm still going to have a stream here because Sweeps Week ain't going to be able to wipe out Andrew. I got so many ideas. It's however often that Bianca and Alex will let me come here and take over the stream. I will be pitching some new random concept every time. So if you don't love,
we just so RJ asked a question. She said, are you gonna not only update posts but show the newer ways of doing the solution, i.e. using messaging rather than programmable SMS directly?
Yeah, we're gonna have to be honest with you, because there's some of the stuff in our APIs and SDKs just isn't gonna work anymore. And like, for example, I think the one we'll probably go through today is using like Laravel 7. And they're now on Laravel 11, and like things have shifted a lot. So yeah, I think we're gonna try and probably fail. Like, I don't know, we've got like an hour to go through this, so we're gonna see how far we get, right? So we'll see.
Cool.
We'll see what happens.
So what are we thinking? Are we thinking we'll do? Because I haven't seen any stuff in chat right now. Are we thinking of doing? Do you want to do this one?
Yeah, let's do the Vue Laravel. Yeah, because I want to avoid. I don't want to play around with React today.
Yeah, no, I think that's fine.
I did not wake up and choose violence today against myself. So, not that React is bad. I also love that we're doing this, Marcus. If you're watching, so Marcus is actually our head of content. So Marcus runs our head of content, but Marcus,
blog.
Our blog, sorry. And Marcus used to be the PHP guy. So he was actually hired to be like the PHP content dude back in the day. And so when I met with him, we like kind of nerded out over PHP stuff. So yeah, I think we're going to build this. I think we're going to go through and we're going to build a blog and we're going to do some fun stuff. So
awesome.
Yeah. Where do we want to start?
Why don't we get your screen up?
Let's do it. All right. So I'm going to move you over here. I got my second screen up today. So let's close all of these things. Yeah. And I'm going to try and, so here's what I would love you to do, both Bianca, Alex, and chat. Make sure I don't dox myself today. And I am going to have to disappear because it's my first time screen sharing. So it makes me go and allow screen sharing. I think let's find out. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Well, maybe not.
No, I got you.
Okay.
Just some blank trees.
That's it. We got our blank trees. We got our Sierra. We got our Sierra here. Okay, so let me get this pulled up over here. So blog.twilio, twilio.com/blog. Let me pull it over here. All right, can you see the screen?
Yeah, we got it. It's a little small, but it's there.
Yeah, we're good. Go ahead, Bianca. What were you gonna say?
No, I liked RJ's question because I do think, and we've talked about this at Twilio, which is like sometimes you can kind of just say like, I just need to solve this problem real quick. But I do think even thinking about like what's the journey within these solutions, right? So I do think even just like now that we're not just Twilio, Twilio with SMS, but like there's so many other tools that we have. So it's like, how do we build more efficiently, more thoughtfully? Yes. Video is back. Video is back. Yes.
Andrew, can we make your text a little bigger? Can you do like control?
We absolutely can. And you know what else I'm going to do? Because my mouse is lagging because I have got my camera plugged into my hub. So I'm going to unplug my camera. My face is going to disappear here for a second, or it's going to give you a weird view. And I'm going to solve my laggy mouse problem. So I'll disappear, but don't worry, I'll be here. I'm here.
I'm here. It's just Andrew avatar. I realized, I feel like, wait, can I? So as we don't have Chef Brent, I forgot we can do that. I didn't even think about that earlier. Put our little names on there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now totally you know who we are. If you didn't know, welcome. Yeah. We should get to start the whole thing over. Let's go.
You may have confused Alex with Bianca.
We also got an echo back, Andrew.
Oh, give me 1 second. I'm using the different audio.
This is how it goes on stream.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting though. We're piloting out new shows. We're like new stuff. Next week, maybe with this.
We still got that echo, Andrew.
Is it coming through from me though? I'm not sure. Maybe it is. Let me turn down my mic.
Can you hear it, Bianca?
No.
Oh, it's probably me then. Give me a moment.
All right, it wasn't just me making audio oopsies today. That makes me happy. Also, I want to hashtag audio oops.
Echo.
It was me.
It was Alex.
I have a complicated setup, and sometimes it switches the audio on a second monitor I have.
Okay, so there's actually another one here. Is this still in PHP? So is this in PHP with Laravel, but it's a different one. How old is this one? This is Marcus. Okay, how far into the archives do y'all want to go? We could go Marcus, which is 2020, or we could go Margaret, who's a Twilian that was involved very heavily in Twilio Quest, into 2017. So we could go almost 10 years in the past, or we could just go back to the before times, before the pandemic. What are we feeling?
Let's make it.
I was going to say, my hunch is that the 2021 is going to work pretty closely, at least from the video side, because there haven't been a ton of updates since like 2021 or 2. But you know what? This is your show.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, chat? I feel like chat should help define this. Chat, what do you think? 2020 or 2017? Both of them are going to break. Don't worry. It's just how breakable they're going to be. Let's see. Come on, chat. You're here. Chat. I'm here for you. If chat doesn't choose, it's gonna be Bianca. It's gonna be your choice. This is a collaborative experience. We're here, chat. We're here.
We got one.
2017. That's it. 2017. Okay, cool. So, Marcus, you're safe for today. We're not coming for you. Margaret, if you're watching, we are coming for you though. All right. So let's see what this is about. Words.
Can you make it? Sorry. Can you? Yeah. Just do the Control+.
I can. So let's take a look at this. So while words alone are powerful, the inflections of people's voices, the gestures and expressions we unconsciously flow through during conversation all contain a wealth of information often lost to us in our technology-driven communications. This is pre-ChatGPT stuff. This is like super well-written intro. Dang, Margaret. That's like, with using Twilio's video API, you can now add the richness of face-to-face interactions to any web project. Here, we'll look to create a Laravel web application that gives you the ability to join existing video groups or create their own. You can preview what you're building here. Okay, who thinks that this Heroku app is still going to be alive?
Ooh.
It's definitely, there's like a 10% chance this Heroku app is still live. We didn't get there. It was not alive. It was very dead. All right, walkthrough assumes you have PHP development installed. I do not, I don't think. We'll find out. A global install of Composer. Pretty sure I don't have that either. And you'll also want to gather some information, your Twilio account, your Twilio video API key and secret, and an empty database named video. Okay, I have none of these things set up. So let's see what happens. Don't read the blog and do it. You don't need to do this. These are not the things you need in your life. We're going to get set up videos on Laravel 5.5. 5.5, everybody.
We're double. You said we're at 11?
We're at 11 now.
We've doubled it.
We've literally doubled. Some of these packages don't even exist anymore. I'm pretty sure Laravel Collective, I'm pretty sure this is super deprecated. We're going to spin up a Laravel 5.5 installation with basic auth from the command line.
Yeah, she also has it in GitHub.
Yeah, so we're going to see... let's see. So here's the thing that you should do. And this is the important part of all the blogs. Don't start building before you read through the blog, because you can get to the end and discover that there was you didn't need to do any of this stuff because there was 16 steps that are done. So I feel like the secret to doing any blog post is read to the end before you start doing anything. This is also just a secret for web development or any kind of development, is read the documentation. It's been written. It's there for you. It's going to help you when you run into problems.
I always just go to getting started and go. So
yeah, I am cracking up because I'm like, oh my gosh, Andrew, are you reminding us how to learn again? Because it's I do feel like, oh gosh, come on, Brent. So I think this is good because I do think sometimes there's you don't want to get acquainted with what you're reading, right? As you're doing it, but
Yeah.
So Chef Brent can't read. That's why he loves streaming and video.
Yeah, I will say, do as I say, not as I do, because I definitely also go to the getting started and 100% would be doing git clone on that repository, but it's not good. It's not the right call. I also I want to see what this. Okay, so first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna clone this repository that the amazing Margaret Staples has created. This might not even exist anymore.
It does. It does.
Does it?
Yeah.
Look at that. Then we're going to CD into there. Then we're going to do Composer install. By the way, if you don't know what Composer is just like an NPM package manager, but for PHP projects.
Cool.
Then you're going to generate the project, database file. Now, the upside now is, I guess we should use, do we update it? So chat, should we update this or should we just do it in the version? Because we can go old school and do it in the version, but I
feel like we should update. I feel like look, if it was one version back and people are still writing and, if we were on Laravel 6 or 7 and 5.5 was still a viable option, sure. But no one's using this anymore. I feel like I feel like there's some updates that could be done. And then, maybe we get to start publishing some updated blog posts.
I agree.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. So we'll see. So we'll go through the blog post. We'll look at the repo and we'll see how much actual code there is in there that's been changed from the default version of this. And then we might just spin up a vanilla Laravel project, because Laravel used to only use Postgres or MySQL,
Mm-hmm.
and that involves a whole setup process of me getting software installed on my device, which is a thing. But the new Laravel uses SQLite, which requires nothing. It's basically just if you've never used SQLite before, go use SQLite.
By the way, we have conflicting ideas in chat. RJ says update. Chef Brent says get it working.
Let's see. Well, let's read through. Let's see how far we go.
Yeah.
So here we go. We get our database. We run PHP artisan migrate. Also notice connected to the video MySQL database. If we run into an error, that database does not exist, you can create it. Okay, MySQL stuff. Private account info. Okay, now let's replace the placeholder tokens. This is all of our Twilio stuff. Okay, and then we're going to go into our services. SID token key secret, next Twilio account, create routes. Oh, by the way, Laravel's a model view, model,
MVC.
an MVC controller. So like you end up having routes and stuff like that you need to put in. I don't know if you do that everywhere, but one for handling the default page, a second for joining an existing video group, and a third for creating a new group from a user submitted name. Okay, that all seems super simple. So you basically have like your routes that you're going to go to.
What's nice about, I'm just looking through her code. What's nice about the repo is it doesn't actually have the finished version. It literally has like put code here.
Oh, love that. That's good.
Like,
Well done.
Like if you go to the routes, there's like it literally is like, like web routes go here.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go look at that, and then we'll see, because that may make it even easier just to spin up like a vanilla project, but we'll see, because we might be able to do it pretty easily. Maybe 5.5 did use SQLite too, so we don't have to like set up a whole MySQL server. Okay, so then we're going to create the controller, and then in the controller, we're going to have some construct methods where we're going to just set the SID key token and secret. Then in our index windows, we're going to do a try catch where we're going to be using the Twilio client, reading all the rooms that exist. Okay, this all seems super straightforward so far. We should be able to recreate it. Create room, client video, room read. If there's no room, then we're going to create this room based on the request room name. We got some logging stuff in here, which is awesome. Dang, Margaret, this code holds pretty well so far, I would say. Like this looks like it should work actually even in 5.5. Join room. New access token. Awesome. Create the views. This is all just vanilla PHP stuff.
Yep.
So this is an interesting thing. So in Laravel, in Blade, do you see this? So normally, if you want to add PHP into a Blade, which is like just like kind of like oh my goodness, what's another templating like language that exists out there in like Python and things?
Liquid.
Yeah, like Liquid. Yeah, it's kind of like Liquid. But normally
Ruby had a whole Python, like had a whole templating language to it.
Yeah. So normally you would have to do these double squiggly brackets here.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do the squiggly bracket with these exclamation marks, it basically means like run this semi-unsafe code. So like you shouldn't use this normally, but I feel like you need to actually make this whole form function work in here. Media div. So this is actually stuff that's directly related to Twilio. And then, yeah, so this might break too, because I bet you this stuff doesn't exist. Yeah, and so this is basically all the stuff to get it started. Some more JavaScript to like track events and things like that. Cool. I mean, that seems pretty straightforward. I'm kind of willing to try this at 5.5 and see what happens.
Cool.
Let's do it. Oh yeah, and then it's great because they show, so Margaret shows like what it should look like. So it's basically going to look like this. So you're going to have this setup, you'll register, video chat rooms, create a chat room, and then we'll be able to do this. And I'll run this through ngrok so we can actually see if it works.
Nice.
If we have the time. Yeah, we got about we can probably get this done in a half hour. All right, so let's go look at our repository. It's not like directly linked either. They like put
it's
this
a little
like
strange.
Yeah, the syntax highlighting here.
It's because they're just telling you to git clone it.
Yeah, so but you're right. I saw Chef Brent put in chat like they probably should have put some syntax highlighting in here, but
again, this is what 8
years ago.
7.5.
8 years ago.
That's so wild that 2017 was that far away.
Right? It's
where was everyone living in 2017? I think I was leaving Chicago and no, I was coming to Denver.
Oh, I was in California. Yeah.
I was here. I was still in Victoria.
Toe frog.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel old. Toe frog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like the quotables from stream. I feel old, toe frog.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah. Oh, wow. The vibes. Yeah. Okay.
I had met my now wife.
Oh yeah, sorry. Let me bump
right
this up.
before this. Right before this was published. Just Thinking about timelines. Where were you in 2017, Andrew?
Yeah, I was here in Victoria. Yeah, okay. We moved here in 2015. So yeah, I was working for the university at that time.
Bianca, I'm guessing you were in the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what's nice about this. So honestly, it looks like what Margaret did is basically kept like a vanilla Laravel project. And then the only thing that they actually ended up changing here was this like in the M file, like it basically generates a lot of this stuff. And then we've got like this Twilio, like basically they've just gone in and sort of added some extra things to this example file. But everything else, like I'm looking in the routes here, like this all looks like what you would get generically. I will say this is one of the cool things about Laravel. Like you have like web routes and API routes that are set up by default in your application. And so like you could literally spin up like a vanilla Laravel project that's just an API for something. And then you want to add like a view to it later on down the road. Like you don't have to like add anything into it. It's all batteries included. Views, home, welcome. Yeah. So like all of this stuff is good. All this stuff is generic. So yeah, let's spin this up. I actually need to find out if I have PHP installed. Oh, look at that. My new top secret project that I'm working on. You can't see that. CD. It's going to be cool. You're going to love it. That I have
named. You just got to finish it and show it to us first.
Just got to finish it, show it to you. It'll only take me a couple months. Okay, so let's see. PHP-V. Not found. Of course it's not. So I do, however, PHP homebrew. I'm pretty sure it's just like brew install PHP. I thought PHP came installed. Doesn't PHP install?
Python does.
Oh, that's why.
Python. But just so you, because I before stream, I was going to tell Andrew my first stream story. On the first time I tried to stream, my internet went out and I didn't know it, and so I was just talking to myself for a while. The second time I tried to stream, I was trying to figure out one of two ways to do a project, and started, and was like, okay, I'm going to do it the way that I think is going to be better. Let's go. Get on. Xcode needed it to update. If anyone's updated Xcode on their Mac recently, it takes a long time. So it was Tofrog and I were on, and we were literally just sitting there talking with Chef Brent in chat about cheesesteaks. We're not supposed to call them Philly cheesesteaks. How they're just cheesesteaks in Philly. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting the same thing here. I haven't run homebrew in like a couple weeks. So like a lot of these things that it's updating right now are just like random homebrew blobs. Okay, so here's the thing. This is what I kind of like about doing live stream coding where you're having to install stuff is it gives you these breaks to just like chat and just like vamp about things. Bianca, how was your holiday? How was your holiday? I don't want to call it a break, but how was your holiday marathon?
Lots of family time. So I mean that part can be good, just a little tiring. And then I will say Christmas was great because I feel like so there's this spot that I love to go to, and it was like Christmas on the first day of Hanukkah.
Yeah.
So then I just enjoyed the food. It was great. So I think Christmas was fantastical. And then I think New Year. So yeah, I was around lots of Jewish energy during both holidays, which was great. Back on Long Island, it was great. So I liked it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that was my holiday adventure. I think you know what it was? I think I was just around different cultures and different spaces. So whether that's being around like my siblings with kids and things like that. So I think just being around just different spaces was delightful. Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Nice.
To start PHP now and install, or if you don't want or need a background service, you can just run this. Do I need my PHP background service? Let's say no. Let's do the or. Let's do the or. I don't know. We're going to fail. We're going to struggle through this together, everybody. Let me just zoom in here so you can see the mistake that I'm making live and you can see it. Yeah. So I use, by the way, and I can't install it on a work device, but there is in the Laravel ecosystem, there is a tool called Laravel Herd. And Laravel herd basically installs like in sort of like it's kind of like Docker desktop in that it installs like Nginx, MySQL, PHP, and it's all in here. You can switch versions, Node.js, like all of this stuff is in here. It's amazing. And then the other one, there's one for Windows called Laragon. And so Laragon is like similar thing, but it's actually meant for so many languages. So it's like all kind of like a containerized development environment. Not sponsored, but like go and check these out. That said, we're on a work device, so we are going to follow the correct policies that I think I should be following. Okay. I have no idea what's happening. FPM is running. Okay, let's just stop running it. I'm going to open a new window because I might need those commands in the shell. New window. And we're going to see if I can do php-v. Okay, good. We got 8.4.2, 100,000%. This is going to break PHP 5, or Laravel 5. So before I can go anywhere, I actually need to go into Laravel. But what's awesome is their documentation is incredible. So I can go in here, go into documentation, and I can go back to 5.5. And it's going to give me a big old warning saying, don't do this. So I can only use, is that greater than or equal to? Yeah, I don't think greater, I don't think greater than, I don't think this is going to work. I don't think 8.4.2. I think it's going to break like a lot, like a lot. Like I feel like I need to.
Wait, doesn't greater than or equal to mean it has to be after 7?
I feel like it's not gonna. I don't think this is not, whatever. This is not going to go well. That's fine. You know what? It's not meant to go well. It's meant to be a process. And then we're going to need to install Composer. So let's do that. Oh, no, we're going to leave this window so I don't break anything down the line. This is the thing I actually, when I was clearing off my, my old work computer, I was like, I've installed so many random things on this computer, and just like, I don't even know. Thank God for Homebrew. There's actually somebody who developed a UI for Homebrew so that you can see all of your packages, but you have to like, they sell the package, like they sell the software, or if you compile it yourself in Xcode, you can get it for free.
There you go.
Yeah. And I did. I actually like downloaded Xcode and learned how to do things in Xcode, but the instructions are fantastic. But it's like $20 or something like that for a lifetime license. So just buy it. Is the UI in the shape of a coffee mug? Yes, that is.
It's got a handle.
It has a handle. What's it called? Hold on, let me find it while we're waiting for this to install. UI for Homebrew. Cork. It's called Cork. Let me pull it up here.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's beautiful, to be honest with you. Like I really like the UI. It's just for Mac. So you Windows users are out of luck, but it's awesome.
I feel like Homebrew is more of a Windows thing or Mac thing anyways.
It is. I mean, actually I think it's only Mac, right? That's absolutely right.
It might be.
But what's great is like they show you like comparison stuff, and then you have like the ability to, when you're going in here, like you get Cork and it's like buy it for like 25 euros, which is probably about 25 American.
Probably right around there.
Yeah, or you can go in and you can like compile it, and the compilation stuff, like they give the instructions, and it's super straightforward. So, nice. Okay, so I think we've got Composer installed now. I want to say we do. Okay, awesome. So we got Composer installed, and I think we're good to go. So now we are gonna do what we said we were gonna do. I think everything's gonna break, but we're gonna see what happens. So let's go and run git clone. If I even have git installed, do I have git installed on here?
It is a new computer for you. I hope you have git installed.
Let's go. All right. So at least we get this. So let's do git clone. All right. And then our next instruction here was cd. And you know what you should always do? Just copy and paste. Just don't type anything out. Just like blindly copy and paste code that you're given, as well as commands. Please follow this advice.
Well, have you heard the one about how you're supposed to remove French from your Linux machine?
Is that a thing? Really?
It's a troll because it's like you like -rf or fr, like basically you force remove the home directory because it looks like French. It's a bad joke you can pull on somebody.
All right. So now we're going to open this up in VS Code because that's where we are today. Do I trust the authors? Should I trust a Twilio employee? Absolutely. Do I trust myself? I don't know. He seems kind of sus. I don't know if I trust this guy. All right. So here we are. Let's get a terminal open in here. Got all the terminals open. I gotta say, window management in the latest version of Mac is like it makes me so happy to be on Mac and not miss Windows so much.
Windows management was the thing that was bothering you.
Oh yeah, that's why I hate Mac, because like you go full screen and then you can't like open anything else. So at least here you just gotta like drag and drop. Why do I have AI stuff running? Oh, because I have Copilot installed. This is gonna make my life so much easier. Okay, so I forgot. I like installed it and then stopped installing it. All right, here we go.
I am enjoying Andrew. This is funny because you're like, I'm just watching as you discover all the things. You're like, oh, wait. So this is great.
This is my life. This is actually a downside to spending time with me in real life, is like I will go for a walk with somebody and they will be like, I'll be like, wow, that like door on that house is like a cool color. And they'll be like, we have walked by this house 700 times. Every time you comment that door is a cool color. And I'm like, yeah, that's the result of a poor memory and a easily excitable nature. And I'm here for it so much. Okay, so Composer install. No, why am I trying to create a fish database? Oh, that makes me happy. Okay, so in here we've got this Composer file. So let's see what's going to install. It's going to break.
Is that part of your secret project that you're not going to tell us about?
So it kind of is. Okay, do you want to know what my secret project is? You guys know. I'll tell chat. So I have been hired. One of the things that I've been hired to work at Twilio is to build out some developer training stuff. So try and build a story. And I am trying to do it in a slightly different way. Like y'all are developers out there, and I want to build sort of like an experiential learning opportunity for you. And it is involving me just spending time building code or building things with code. So I love that. Anyway, so here's the stuff. So we've got a lot of stuff in here. A lot of this is default. So like not a lot of things in here are new. The only thing that's kind of added in here was this Laravel collective HTML and the Twilio SDK. Now, who thinks that this is actually going to fish.db? Do not do touch fish with a ph.db on a work computer. That is how you get a note from the security team. 100%. Take this advice. Don't do it.
I actually had an idea for an app that I was going to build that would have made that okay, which is to have something that live texts you the songs that are playing at a fish show.
I love that.
Because there's people who live tweet the fish shows and they're live updating on like all the fish DB things. So I was like, oh, I could do that.
So we ended up, by the way,
you don't know what you're going to get out of the fish database.
You do not. So if you were watching this, exactly the error that I thought we were going to have happened. Look at all these problems. I love Composer though, because it's like, I find when you install things in NPM and it doesn't work, it's like this weird like tree of like errors. Here, it's just like, you've got 28 problems and it's all related to the same freaking thing. You can't use anything that's not PHP 7. Okay, for example, both PHP 7.4 use brew install command, home brew install package name at version. So I'm going to do, let's go back over to here. Let's go cd brew install, brew install PHP at 7.0, I think. Do I have to do the 0.0? I feel like I do. I'm going to see.
We'll see.
I mean, it's not breaking yet. Oh, Homebrew doesn't even have PHP 7.
Wow.
So like this is the thing, right? Is like you actually, how can I get an outdated unsafe version of PHP on my God. Mac OS X. Old Homebrew versions of packages. Homebrew install specific version, installing old versions from Homebrew. Oh, install older versions, Terraform, formula, directory containing package name. Goodness, this is a journey, hey? Brew remove Terraform, brew install Terraform.rb.
we have a suggestion in chat. Would PHP and via
Look at you, Chef Brent. Let's see what that is. PHP ENV. A simple PHP version management tool. Can we use Homebrew to install this? Probably not. Basic GitHub checkout. What are our other ways to install this? Web server setup. Neckbeard configuration.
Neckbeard?
Oh, I hate that so much.
That's not fun.
I hate that so much. Of course it's there. God. Of course it is. PHP env via Homebrew. Can you install like a manager? How to use PHP the brew installed? I bet you can't install PHP with Homebrew PHP packages. Install PHP. Maybe you can do this. Probably not. This is just like a random script. Do not run.
Yeah,
just
don't run random scripts.
Don't run random scripts. I can follow the process on there. Oh no, pipenv. Of course you can do it for Python.
Yeah, of course.
Of course you can.
See, I think this goes to the you know, how Alex was saying, just have Python in your back pocket. Python needs to be close at all times.
100,000%. Okay, so I guess we're just gonna have to go PHP env. Does anybody know? Is this a thing that I can install on my work device? Am I able to do this?
I don't know that for a fact, but I think you can.
If I can't, I apologize in advance. It's not like we're live streaming. Almost guaranteed. I love the almost in front of it. For more odd, you can use PHP env installer. If you prefer a manual approach, no, we're going to use the installer. Very much.
Living life on the wild side. I think at least one thing though that's good is that like we're getting a sense of what direction you might want to take for your show. You know, this is the pilot episode.
We're not getting there today. We're not getting to a functional application today. This is the journey though, right? This is the journey that a developer would go through if they like came across this blog and they're having to do it. So like, I feel like there's something rich here. Plus my stream's going to be 2 hours. So we'll be able to get through the entire thing.
Yeah.
That is true. Also,
no, go ahead, Bianca. Sorry.
Oh no, I was saying that it also is helpful for us to get a sense of our users' experience too. So say if someone's like, "Ooh, cool, Twilio post on this thing I'm looking for," but then it's like, "Ooh, this is so outdated that you know." So this is actually helpful, I feel like.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to need to do, before I do anything though, I'm going to do brew uninstall, or is it brew? Yeah, brew uninstall PHP. Because I don't want to have like multiple versions of PHP refusing to uninstall because it's required by Composer, which is currently installed. Oh my goodness. Brew uninstall Composer. It's going to be like, you can't uninstall Composer. Brew uninstall PHP. Let's see. Woo, look at that. A lot of uninstallation steps there. Great. And now we're going to run this curl command. So this is just installing this installer here. And then it's going to make a lot of these processes automated. We could have done this manually, but seems like you still have not added PHP env to the load path. Load path env export. Okay, add the following to here. I need to add this. Okay, so is it Nano? Is Nano built in? I can't remember what's built in.
Yeah.
Nano. And then it's here. The ZSRC. Yes, there we go. There we go. And exit. Oh, did I do the right thing? Yes. Okay. So I think that, how do you reset a shell? Does anybody know? I don't want to have to Google it. There's like a command to reset shell.
Exact ZSH, I think, or source. I think with Z it's different.
Yeah. How do we reset shell? Anybody in chat? Oh, there we go.
/GHRC.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, because you're basically just saying like, go and look at this.
Yeah, I when I do that, I get an error. I think it's exact, but try source.
Source ZSHRC. It's doing something. Nope, it worked for me.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's because of something I have like a thing installed on top of it.
All right, so we've got this installed. So now how do we use it? Start your shell, git clone, install PHP build into it and add any PHP, upgrading. I love that I just installed the thing, but I have no idea how to actually use it. PHP help, get PHP. Like what am I doing with this? Oh, hold on. It sets the global version of PHP to be used in all shells. by writing the version name. Let's do this. I feel like this version by writing name. Yes, I think that feels right to everybody, right?
Yeah.
To do global.
That I feel like that's one of your favorite words. And just like that feels
I feel
right,
like
you know?
listen, I did an emotional intelligence survey. I have a good friend who gave it to me, and when it was done, he sat me down and he said, "Listen, Andrew, we gotta have a talk." He's like, "You need to get in touch with your emotions." So I'm trying to feel the code. I'm trying to add a little bit of feeling into this.
Get in touch with your emotions as you code. I like it.
Exactly. Listen, this is a little bit of therapy. Honestly, I find coding therapeutic. I find it to be a really like therapeutic activity.
Unless you can't get something figured out and you have no idea why. Then it's the most frustrating thing in the world.
PHP version 7 is not installed. Thank you, PHP Env. I really appreciate you sharing that with me. How do I
I
install it?
wanted you to know.
I don't.
Fair.
Does anybody know? Anyway, version managers are great if you know how the version managers. I don't want to have to install this neckbeard thing. It really just makes me upset.
Don't do it.
CD.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
You can upgrade your installation anytime. Exact PHP rehash. How do I use it? Hold on. Somebody's written a blog post on this. PHP. I love that our stream today of doing a blog post is us just installing PHP.
PHP env install is what RJ Pearson says.
All right, let's see what happens. I trust chat to not lead me astray. PHP env. I don't like that. That's not really visible. Install, and I'm going to assume it's 7. I'm just going to put like the version that I want.
Okay.
Version 7 not found. All right, let's just go that. Oh, PHP install.
Oh, there you go. Dash V. Oh no.
Dash V. List
So
all
version of
available.
PHP build. List all available versions. So do PHP install -L.
Yeah, let's do install -L. Available versions. Oh, okay. All right.
There's a lot.
So do I have 7 in here? We got 7. So thank you.
Yeah, there you
go. Ooh.
You got
We're
some
going.
sevens.
We're going down. We're going like, don't use this. Just chat. If you're watching, don't use this. Just because the thing is available, just because you can do something does not mean you should. Like, don't live that dangerously. Don't spin up a project and just be like, you know what? PHP 5 seems like what I need in my life today. That's just
by the way, we'd be having similar issues using Marcus's. I just looked and he's on 7.2 in his version.
Let's go.
So,
yeah.
I love it. Okay, so it was -V, I think. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I think you got to do the full version probably.
Oh, I see. 7.0.0 must be 7.0.0. I'm just going to install 7.0.0 and assume that it's going to work. Okay, sick. Okay, that works. Thank you. Thank you, RJ Pearson.
I know. RJ's an MVP.
RJ, yeah. RJ, clap. We had some assists with the Brent of the
Welcome
chefs.
to our how to install PHP on your computer.
Yeah.
This is a good stream. Honestly, there's another show there, I would 100% just do a show that is all PHP. I don't even love PHP that much anymore. I think it's just like, I love the fact that people hate PHP so much. And I love being like the black sheep of the programming world. So like if people started hating, like, I don't know, Rust, I would get into Rust, but nobody.
Wow.
There's some Rust hate out there.
Just a little bit.
Rust's a language I wanted to learn. Maybe that's another stream we do because it's one of those languages that's fast enough that people are using it for robotics, which interests me.
Okay, so I think
Yeah, I feel that Toprak. Andrew's a troll.
100% I'm a troll. I'm here for it, but I'm like the nicest troll you'll ever meet. I'm like trolls from the Troll movie, not like trolls from like Under the Bridge. Like you can't cross
Canadian, so you got to be nice.
Yeah, I'm the kind of troll that you put on your dashboard of your car that has like the fun hair. Like that is the troll that I am for you. I sing, I dance.
Wow.
I can do that troll. I do. All right, what do we got here? So PHP config command not found. Okay, if please php.v work. No, what are you doing here? PHP env library exec global PHP.
Do you have to like initialize it or like use it?
So
I did global.
Yeah, I tried this global thing. Oh, wait, hold on. Did I get an error? Build error. Okay, good. So I had a build error. Oh, glorious. Amazing. Did I install anything? Did anything install?
It checked. Did a lot of checking.
It did a lot of checking. All right, so I ran this command, and then it loaded a bunch of stuff, and then it did this, and then it built something, and then it grepped something, and then it did a lot of checking, and a lot more checking, and then a lot more checking, and a lot more checking, and then some general setting checking, and then some configuration extension checking. And then
Can't find libz.
libz. Check if the location of libz installed for libz. Do you need libz? A full log is available here. I guess I need libz. So what's libz? Zlib? Is it zlib or
it
zibli?
says zlib or libz.
Does it talk about zlib in here? Zlib. What is zlib? Zlib. Alternative Z library, not libz.
It had both on there.
Is a software library used for data compression. Can I tell you just how much I'm enjoying this experience? This is
you're going everywhere with
this is me programming. And the downside here is I don't have I would generally just put this into ChatGPT. Like that's how I've started programming now. This is how I programmed in like 2020 and before. It was just like you got a million tabs open and you're doing something.
Yeah. I mean, I remember Craig saying that ChatGPT almost like broke the demos because you would just like, it would start like, or a Copilot would just like fill the code in for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually had to turn it off and demo when I was doing my thing for the interview. I was like, I needed to make sure it was off. Okay. We're just going to install this. We're going to install zlib through Homebrew.
Chris or Tofrog, are you telling us about some of your past horror stories? Life of developer. Hey, we need you to go maintain this legacy thing. Have fun.
It's so true. Okay, so we got this thing, and then I think I need to do this source reset thing, I'm assuming. I probably don't, but I'm going to do it anyways. And then we're going to
saying we should do xcode select install.
No, it's not going to work. That's not going to.
That'll just install xcode.
It's just going to install xcode. PHP config command.
It makes for a good talk show.
It does.
Xcode installing in the background.
Okay, so users, did it install now? Can I do PHP-V? No, I can't. PHP config command not found. All right. Thank you.
So
Thanks.
libz didn't work because you.
No. So libz, I'm not getting the libz error anymore. Configure error, PHP config not found. Oh, here we go. Good. 2019 error. That's what we're looking for. Your PHP build did not completely install the program. Check ls PHP bin contains the executable PHP config. PHP was not completely installed. Check manually run the following command: export path, home path, eval, init. Let's try this.
Okay, so you're basically telling your computer where PHP is.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see if that's going to do that. And then let's do eval. Okay. Retry PHP in global and see if it worked. Let's see. No. I guess I won't be able to. Oh, really? I got a lot of commands in here that I've been working on. So let's just go php env install -v 7.0.0. All right, we're getting there. We got this time. We got infos, loaded things. We're not just checking, we're loading.
No, it's still checking. Don't worry.
We're here for this. I'm here for this. I'm here. You know, if we get no further than installing PHP, I feel
that's step one.
That's step one. And also, like, next we have the composer issue of installing the right composer version.
Like this is in some ways something I've always wanted to do but never gotten deep into, which is like containers. But now you could probably have opened this in a GitHub code space and it probably would have had everything in there for you.
Let's do it. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do that.
Right? I think that would work.
Yeah, let's do it. I love it. Let's do it. Let's go.
I mean, could you open her code in a code space?
Yeah. If I can't, I can just fork it. But I think I can create new code space. Yep. Select repository. No, I do have to fork it. So, but I can do that. So let's go here. Let's fork this.
I do like the Tofrog's comment about just like, you know, having to deal with like legacy code. It's just funny. I think even the aspect of like going back into the blogs, like, you know, definitely having to go just kind of see, does this work? Who wrote this? What are you saying? And I do think that aspect of just like, the folks that are working, I call it the good old enterprise, classic enterprise spaces. I do think like, I don't know. It just sparks something in my brain around just like bringing that to life. We're not trying to traumatize you, but
True though. It's so true. So it's running, and it's running an older version of Node, so that's a good sign. So it's running Node 16 to install stuff that's in the package.json. So I think it might just be using some intelligence to actually do the right piece. Yeah, I don't know if you need a dev container. I used to do this with Gitpod all the time. Gitpod is fantastic for spinning stuff up from random GitHub repositories. But now, why would you use that when you can use the thing that's built into GitHub? Yeah, so I think this actually will work. But just so you know, like this is the piece that actually, if you were trying to run that or any of these things, you couldn't do it through Homebrew. So you're going to have to install manually or globally or use PHPM. So like these are definitely the issues that you're going to run into there. So even before you can get
figure out how to update it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right. And I think like this is also like a good, interesting learning experience for me. I like the experience of like trying to install it all locally, but then I also like the experience of like spinning it up quickly in like I don't know. There's like a piece of me that wants to do it all locally, and then there's a piece of me that wants to do it in here.
Here's my big, like, I feel like when I first learned to code, very early was an IDE, but a lot of times there'll be like these web-based IDEs.
Yeah,
and it kills me because then I'll do it in there and I don't actually know how to then I don't even know how to like start the actual project.
That's fair.
So that's the one big problem with these is like, let's say you wanted to build something, like, would you really build an entire thing in your, in your GitHub workspace? Like maybe that's how you're going to do it, but also maybe you probably want it local, and at some point you're going to want to move it there. And how do you go back and forth? And what do you need to do? Yeah.
Local it is. I don't think this is going to work, to be honest with you. I think that we're going to run into the same issue. Yeah, so I think we're going to go composer install, and it's going to give us the same issue before. I wonder though, because I bet you anything there's some like helpers in code spaces that are going to change PHP version, that you can actually change the version. So working in PHP, PHP.ini, sudo apt install using this command. Okay, composer install. You could just do, it seems like I said PHP install is the package. In Git code space, you can install different platforms and versions with Oryx. Okay. Find out the installed version. Just add some and then you got a sim link to things.
Maybe it is local.
Yeah.
I feel like this is awesome. I love that it's actually as difficult to do it in like a cloud IDE as it is to do it on your local device. I'm so happy that I didn't install PHP to like get set up for the stream, because I was like, I wanted to show the full experience. And I feel like this is just like the true dev experience.
So RJ's like, does it make sense to just update?
I think it would. So I will say we're not going to have time to do it today, right? Because we're going to be done in about 10 minutes. But I would say I think that maybe this is the thing. And so maybe at the next episode, if y'all liked this kind of idea of going through and doing this, that maybe we try some different formats. So maybe we do some where we try and build it from scratch like we're doing here. Maybe we do some of it where we go in and we try and update it to a modern stack. But y'all are going to decide, like, maybe this might not survive sweep weeks, y'all. It might not get there. So this pilot could be DOA, but I hope it's not. Yeah, I think that we're going to end up going down like this PHP version, like pipeline of changing these things around.
Yeah. This reminds me of something in grad school that I came across, which was I did robotics in grad school, and we did a lot of stuff with like Ubuntu, like ROS, which is Robot Operating System, which runs on a different version of Ubuntu. And there's basically like an LTS, long-term supported version of ROS, corresponds to every version of GitHub. And like when I was in grad school, I mean, I think it was mostly 18 and 20 for Ubuntu that we were using. But there were different professors who wrote the code 6 years ago and never wanted to update anything, and made you go install a 4-year-old or 6-year-old version of Ubuntu to run a super old version of ROS to actually run the code. And it was just like so frustrating because it was like, why can't like just this isn't that hard to update. And I wonder what they're doing now because I don't think we got a lot of ROS people out here, but ROS is now version 2.0. There's a whole new thing, and version 1 and like ROS 1 it's not supported anymore. And my hunch is these professors are still going to be making people do stuff in 10-year outdated frameworks.
Yeah, I feel like you're right. So I will say this is where these kind of tools, and these exist for other languages and stacks too, but like this is like Herd and like Laragon are really powerful of like, let's remove the like setup of having to worry about all this stuff. And also I find the biggest problem is you end up with like all of these cookie crumbs that you leave behind of like, if you install something through Homebrew, even if you delete it and uninstall it, it still leaves little pieces behind, right? Same with any application that you like go and press delete in applications on a Mac, there's still a ton of files that are left behind. So I love like you install something like Herd and you can actually use this for way more than just like it's any PHP Node.js project. Like you can just use it in here and host things. And so I feel like these are really powerful tools. But yeah, I mean, looking at the like updating the PHP versions, we've got 10 minutes. I don't think that it's going to be super worthwhile for us to go and do it. But honestly, chat, this is sort of like the nature of the pilot this is where we got. What do you think? What do you like? What do you think about the concept? Going through finding these legacy projects and trying to update them. I think update them is a fun concept.
Yeah.
I think that trying to build them is like interesting because now we see the error and it's almost like I kind of want to do like, let's go do the blog post, get as far as we can until it breaks. And then now if it breaks and we can't get past the breaking point, then now we're going to rebuild it, Yeah. Or is it like just go through and do as many blog posts as you can until they break? Like maybe that's the piece here. Or do we want to solve the problem? You let us know, chat. So would you like to just see us break lots of things? Would you like to see us break one thing and try and fix it? Would you like to see us try and update things? Like this is your show as much as it's my opportunity to mess around in different programming languages.
Stream since last break 0.
Exactly.
I think if that gets over 3, something's wrong.
Yeah.
If it gets over 3, it's not live coding.
There you go. That's exactly it. While we're here, can I like pitch some of the other concepts that are kind of maybe coming down the pipeline? Is that too much? It's your time. It's my time. I mean,
Blog roulette.
So blog roulette is so fun. I love. I don't know. Chat roulette's got a reputation. Yeah. Okay, so here are some of my other ideas that I pitched. So I had repo resurrection.
Whoopsies.
So I had repo resurrection, which was actually kind of similar to what we're talking about, was finding old random GitHub repositories and like updating them. So instead of focusing on like blogs and updating them, actually going through and just finding like random projects that haven't been touched in like 10 years and updating them. Awesome adventures.
Twilio specific ones or
no. So this would be like just general things that are out there. I think maybe there's a play where there's like a Twilio thing, but I think it's just more interesting to like give back to the community as a Twilio community. Like we want to support the work that's being done out there. So maybe there's a Twilio library for like some third party tool that's out there that we go update. Like I think that there's an angle there. I have another one, awesome adventures, where we go and look at awesome lists. And so if you don't know what an awesome list is, it's like literally an awesome list of tools, and you can go and look up like awesome lists, and just going through there and like trying to find the interesting tools that are out there. I've got terminal time machine. This one is fun and kind of plays into the same theme. So the idea would be to like go and spin up like old versions of things and see like what breaks and what works and what doesn't. These are all following the same theme. But the one that got the most love was one that I pitched called 7 Degrees to Twilio. And so here's the pitch that I have for this. How far can you go before everything somehow connects to Twilio? In this fun series, we trace surprising paths between seemingly unrelated technologies, tools, or concepts to see how they're linked, ending up at Twilio. It's a playful tech twist on the classic 7 Degrees game, proving that the dev world is smaller than you think. So yeah, concept here is we choose a random tool, random technology, our chat does, and then we kind of play like 7 degrees to Kevin Bacon, because there's always 7 degrees to Kevin Bacon, but we do that for Twilio. So those are a few of the ideas that I pitched. I feel like this stream is becoming like Terminal Time Machine and Repo Resurrection as well, if we end up doing this, the Twilio blog one. So yeah, maybe I'll be back with 7 degrees to Twilio in a couple weeks.
Yeah, we can play that one. That might be a fun show to do. Maybe later. Maybe we'll try that one later. And because I'm curious to see what that looks like. That sounds interesting. But
I feel like it would be less code and more like, let's go on like a deep dive. It's kind of like, have you ever done there's a game you can play where you like go through Wikipedia pages and like you try and like get connected by like following the links. And so I feel like it would kind of be like that, like going through code samples until you're like finding like different tools.
Like, can you like link GitHub through GitHub? Like, could you do it with GitHub instead of Wikipedia maybe?
Yeah, kind of. So like, yeah, you go into a project on GitHub and then you're like, okay, here's all the libraries that are used in this project. And then you like go into the net library and like you look through the different libraries and you're trying to like suss it out and see how deep it goes. That I feel like that's the concept actually.
Brent said his bacon number is 2, which I assume means he had 2 pieces of bacon this morning. That's all that can mean, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing that can mean. I love how Chef Brent did not vote on the Brent pilot. But
I want to see a Chef Brent pilot too. 100%. Very much that. I want to see.
We have
3 votes.
We already
3 votes. A's.
3.
Toe Frog, having bacon for dinner. Good for you. Is it breakfast for dinner day? What are you gonna make up?
Yeah, because I feel like. Yeah, it gives me very like breakfast food vibes. Yeah. Like, yeah. Unless you're doing like a sandwich, I could see that.
I don't know what's a Briner day.
A Brinner, breakfast for dinner.
Got it.
Oh, Brinner, that sounds so fancy. I would like to. I want a Brinner day.
Wait, okay. Chef gave us his 2 degrees to bacon, where he interviewed Tony Hawk on Signal TV, who was in Police Academy 4, Citizens on Patrol with Colin Camp, who was in Trapped with Kevin Bacon.
Wow, fantastic. No.
You know what? I think my like weird close degree is gonna end up being Amica. Because I had the video with Amica. Like I wonder like if people are gonna start doing stuff with that robot and then
RJ, that
RJ
is wild.
The best troll of the day.
That was wild. That was wild.
Coming for you, Brent. Coming.
Wow. I don't even have words. Oh my god.
That's the show, Andrew. The mic has been dropped. Shots were fired.
Yeah, that was might be that was I love that. On that note,
you know what? I feel like that one deserves
a fatality.
No, but seriously, every week we will publicly put Chef Brent on the spot until Chef Brent puts out his pilot show. Chef Brent, you can run, but you can't hide. I don't care that you're on vacation. This is direct at you.
We even got Revertables to come in at the last minute here and drop a sandwich. You knew, you smelled it.
Yeah, Revertables was like, we're trolling Brent. Like, I need to be here for that. No. So that is great. So, y'all, I don't know when we'll have the Chef Brent pilot show, but it will be in the month of January. So, wow, Chef Brent, you don't want to have promises that aren't upheld. But then Brent was like, well, I could edit this out, but don't edit this out. But essentially, y'all, it was such a blast seeing y'all back again. We're excited to just bring y'all really cool content for 2025. We're excited to bring some awesome new faces like Andrew on stream to kind of share out. And as always, if y'all have ideas or things that you want to see from us, do let us know. We're also excited to kind of bring back the dev community energy in person. So stay tuned for just kind of some of those activations that you might see out and about.
Yeah.
But any other things as we wrap up?
We'll be back
know?
here next week, same time, same place, 2 p.m. Tuesday. Twilio Devs Twitch, YouTube, all the fun places. This is a thing that Bianca and I love doing, and we're going to keep doing because we like hanging out with all you and hanging out with each other and bringing people like Andrew on. So
yeah, and let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of these streams. If you don't like it, let us know. Like, I don't need to be here doing stuff you don't like. We want to do stuff that y'all are interested in. I want to be here. Send ideas. I can make anything into a stream. Anything can be a live stream. Anything. So before we go, random fun fact, one of the first live streams was like a coffee pot, right? It was like people like controlling a coffee pot. Google that.
I mean, how many like fire live streams are there right now?
Absolutely. Thanks you, Robertables.
Robertables wants different glasses.
I have many pairs: red, yellow, green, purple. I'm gonna upgrade this year with the new year, updated health insurance. So gotta spend those dollars, y'all.
Oh my gosh, we are an unserious.
Oh, Frackberg doesn't like the voice changer.
You don't like this voice changer? What's not to like about it? Good to know.
So we're gonna.
He does want us to do a live stream with indoor cycling. I'll get on that, Frackberg.
I actually really like that concept.
I got my literally. If I turn my camera around, you'll be hitting me on the Peloton. So let's do it. Cool.
Okay, well, so we know. Now we know we got some feedback. This is a live show. We are not pre-recorded. So yeah, this is awesome. Great seeing y'all.
Thanks so much for having me, everybody. Yeah. See you later, everybody. Bye.